And here with Kent McBride, coach of the Wyoming East Warriors. And neat thing this week, Kent, you guys going to the state tournament and Westside going to the state tournament. You got both Wyoming County teams in there. You just look back at all the great teams that have come through, and we can't even go back. We wouldn't have enough time to go back to all the feeders, Bible and Ocean and Mullins. You would it'd take forever, but. Since Wyoming East and Westside have been open, the teams haven't gone down there together. From a perspective on your side, the Wyoming East, there have been a lot of teams that have gone down there. Which one, you've been around forever, you know these teams, which one do you think was the best?
I can't believe you asked this question. I think the best was probably the 07 team. How
does that sting?
It stings. It stings because I talk to Justin Caldwell every day, and I know he's going to hear this, and he's going to point out that I finally admitted this on camera. But I think the 07 team that had Nick Rosonico, Justin Caldwell, Corey Willard, Jason and Gentry Shrewsbury, that was probably the best team in school history.
That was a heck of a team. You talk about a powerful team. When you picked that, you played on teams before that,
right,
which were equally, I thought, powerful. Probably one of the best games I've ever covered in 40 years of doing this was a game you played in at Marshall.
Yep.
When both you guys were both number one in the state in your respective classes. What about that team, that 07 team?
They were just so powerful, man. When you had Caldwell at one wing and Willard who could shoot the lights out on the other. And you had Gentry, who we all knew Gentry in a one-on-one setting around the basket was a nightmare. I just think the offensive firepower that they had and the two glue guys of Nick Rosonico that fit in his role and Jason Shrewsbury that fit into their role and Gentry, I just think that was and the way Jesse had to play it. They really pushed the tempo of the game. I just think the offensive firepower of that team was on a different level.
Well, I think there's 3 state championship teams, right?
Correct. 02, 07, 08.
So you were on
02
team, which won the state championship.
Correct.
Now that was quite a powerful team too. Let's talk about that. Your teammates and the team you played with.
We still have a group message, and that's what I'm really hoping for the kids going through state tournaments now is our group message in the 02 team still lives. Tank, Jordan Johnston, and Jason Spears. We're in a group message that we communicate. That team was different in the fact of we offensively we were a little challenged, but man, we guarded. I think you look back at that team, I think there was only 2 games that the team touched 60 on us, and one of them was the double overtime state tournament game. So we were built a little different in the fact of we had Michael Monroe, a 6'6" guy that was a lot like Connor, that was an eraser around the rim. You had Tank, who was an absolute enforcer, and we were really physical defensively. So we just operate a little differently. A lot of times when you got done playing, I just felt like you played a football game.
Well, this might be interesting. I don't even know if you can do it, but you've got. I'll name your starters out here for you.
Yeah.
And you tell me who you think they most resemble in the past, if you can do that. It might be I'm going to start at point guard with Talon Mascari. Who does he remind you of from the past?
His dad.
That's a good one. That was probably an easy one.
It was an easy one. You watch how Talon guards, when you watch his body move on defense, it is an exact replica of his father about how he can get his chest in front of the ball, how he can defend the ball. It is it kind of put chills. It is an exact replica of Evan.
And then you go to Brock Johnson, kind of a long shooter.
I'd say Alex Webb. When you look back at Alex Webb, played in the what do you have? He was here in 9, 10, and I think 8, 9, 10. Just the length, the ability to shoot over the top, his just 6'5" playing on the wing. Alex Webb was one that, man, he was a really talented basketball player. So I think Brock Johnson will remind you of an Alex Webb.
You go to Connor Fox, you're big. I mean, nobody really has.
That's
not
tough.
many people have a 6'9" anywhere, but I mean, of the bigs you remember. Anybody?
The only person I can say is Michael Monroe, because I mean, you look at the people back at Wyoming East, he was the only one that can even remotely challenge him from a height-wise. I don't think Michael had his offensive skill set, but he had his shot blocking and his defensive ability. So I would say that's, and honestly, that's the closest one, but that's really selling Connor short. And I love Michael Monroe. We still communicate, but man, Connor's a different animal down there.
Braxton Morgan, kind of a guy that keeps it all together, and a role guy.
Bro, man, that was a tough one. Let me think back to the days of who in my days, or okay, I'll give you one like a David Cart. David Cart playing for Rory, that ended up being a first-team All-State his senior year. He was a guy that just went and got it, and that's kind of how Braxton is. Braxton, if he wants the ball, we talk to him all the time that if you want it, every shot's a pass to you. So you got to treat every shot as a missed shot, and that's a pass to you. And that's kind of how David Cart played. But that was probably, he played for Rory. That was back in like 16, I think. I went 16, 12, 13, something like that.
Yeah, right after the right after Oak Hill's run, I think.
Correct. He was right after that
which was after Wyoming's run.
Rory retired, I think, in about the same time I did. I think 14 or 15, and I think David Cart was before that. So 12, 13 area was his time.
And then the last one is your
Zach.
senior starter, Zach Hunt.
Who I'm going to compare him to like a Willard, where he can come off screens, get his feet set, and shoot it. Willard was that way to where, man, he did not need time and space. He was athletic enough to get up over the top, so I'd say Zach Hunt. And I would say probably their stature does something to them. They're both big, strong, and shooters, both really good baseball players. So I think Zach's comparison, Corey Willard's a fair one.
Right. So you go in against Logan. It's kind of almost an area team themselves.
Yeah.
You couldn't have imagined this would be where you would be, even at the start of the season, November.
So you got to fill out this sheet Metro News gives you that says how many years have you been coaching at this school, and my answer is 70 days. I mean, I think we did the math, it's like 70 days. So no, always a supporter of the program, obviously being an alum. I had no idea that this is what seat me that I would be in and Rory would be in, like I said, when this season started.
Hey, Kent, always appreciate your
I
time,
really
man.
appreciate what you do.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.